てんの？
めっちゃ食べてる。
かわいい。かわいいこのカメ。
かわいいな。
すごい。
こっちはバナナ。
Those animals are good vibes.
Watch this.
If people just understood this one simple equation, they would never have to work at a job ever again in their life. But it's no coincidence that this information is held from the general population. It's because then corporations can take advantage of the population. And that equation is creation over consumption, because corporations have tricked the entire world into consumption. Consuming and feeding self drives us into survival mode, but more importantly, it puts us in a negative feedback loop with the entire universe. Because when we're taking from the universe then takes from us. My friends, the universe is a very abundant place. And if you give to the universe will give to you. I can tell you because at 18, I dropped out of school to go all out on my businesses. And since then, I've started and scaled 2 successful companies from the ground up. Now I travel the world. I know that anyone can do what I did, but it starts with creation. It starts with creating more than you consume, getting in a positive loop with the universe karmically, allowing the universe to free up space for you and your dreams and your mission. And it's my mission to help more souls breach from the old earth into the new earth.
Now, if you guys have been followers in my account for a very long time, you guys would understand and understand that I've been telling you guys to be more creators and less consumers. Credits to this guy for showing you the life that he's created, and he's trying to show you too that you can also create this life that you want by simply just becoming a creator. We have that power within us. We are the creator of our own reality. We are the center of our own universes. The circumstances that you are living in this very moment in time was created by you, whether you like it or not. Peace, my reflection, y'all, and hope you guys have a beautiful day.
Oh man, let's unite and create a good vibes environment.
Ezekiel's wheel within a wheel. What did this man see? It wasn't this. This is not accurate. Neither is this, but it's getting closer if it would have included the other 3 creatures with the other 3 wheels. If we read Ezekiel chapter 1, we see that there were 4 creatures, and each of the creatures had 4 faces and 4 wings. This is not an accurate drawing of the creature. It's right here, and everyone had 4 faces, and every one had 4 wings. As for the likenesses of their faces, they 4 had the face of a man and the face of a lion on the right side, and they 4 had the face of an ox on the left side. They 4 also had the face of an eagle. Each one of these creatures has these 4 faces. And I'll just tell you the big mystery. These are the 4 creatures of the throne of God, and we're going to see that. I'll just go on and tell you that the 4 wheels are the 4 wheels of the throne of God sitting beside the 4 creatures of the throne. Ezekiel saw the throne of God and got upon it. I'm going to show you. It's not 1 wheel, it's 4 wheels. Now, as I beheld the living creatures, behold, 1 wheel upon the earth by the living creatures with his 4 faces, a wheel by each one. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of beryl, and they 4 had one likeness. They 4 wheels had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. 4 wheels, each of them a wheel within a wheel. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them 4 wheels. And when the 4 living creatures went, the 4 wheels went by them, and when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. This whole scene is one unit with 4 creatures, each creature having 4 faces, and each creature having beside it a wheel within a wheel. Why? What kind of a platform is this? And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the 4 living creature was as the color of the terrible crystal stretched forth over their heads. The firmament was named heaven on page 1 in Genesis. Go look. The four creatures have heaven above their heads, and under the firmament were their wings straight, the one toward the other. Every one had two, which covered on his side, and every one had two, which covered on that side their bodies. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone, and upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man above upon it. You have the four creatures of the throne of God I will show you in the Revelation. Beside them are the four wheels within a wheels. Above their heads is a firmament, and above that is the throne, and upon it is Jesus Christ. The likeness as the appearance of a man above upon it. Now, when you consider how this whole scene was set up for Elijah, it gets deeper. This is how it started. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Who is this showing up? It's God. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of four living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man, but they had four faces on their head. Likeness of a man. Let me show you Daniel 7. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. The wheels of his throne. Revelation 4, John gets called up into the third heaven, paradise, where the throne of God is, to receive the vision. And immediately I was in the Spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. And he that sat was to look upon like jasper and a sardine stone. And there was a rainbow round about the throne, in the sight like unto an emerald. Let's compare Ezekiel 1 and see what they saw. Remember, he saw the throne and the appearance of a likeness of a man upon it. And I saw as the color of amber, as the appearance of fire round about within it, from the appearance of his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward. I saw as it were the appearance of fire, and it had brightness round about, as the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud in the day of rain, the rainbow. So was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. And when I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one that spake. Back to Revelation 4, and he that sat was to look upon like jasper and a sardine stone, and there was a rainbow round about the throne, in sight like unto an emerald. And round about the throne were 24 seats, and upon the seats I saw 24 elders sitting, clothed in white raiment, and they had on their heads crowns of gold. Why didn't Ezekiel see this part? Because Jesus had not manifest in the flesh, been crucified, died, risen from the dead yet, ascended into heaven yet. Which will also explain the rest of this. Watch. And out of the throne proceeded lightnings and thunderings and voices, and there were 7 lamps of fire burning before the throne, which are the 7 spirits of God. And before the throne there was a sea of glass like unto crystal, that terrible crystal from Ezekiel 1. And in the midst of the throne and round about the throne were 4 beasts full of eyes before and behind. And the 4 beasts had each of them 6 wings about him, and they were full of eyes within. And they rest not day and night, saying, Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty, which was and is to come. Was, is, and is to come. It's talking about Jesus specifically. He says so himself in Revelation 1, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is, and which was, and which is to come, the Almighty. Jesus is God, if you didn't know, who manifests in the flesh. He created heaven and earth first, did you know? And the first beast was like a lion, and the second beast like a calf, and the third beast had a face as a man, and the fourth beast was like a flying eagle. There are differences in these creatures and the ones that Ezekiel saw. 6 wings instead of 4. Doesn't say anything about them having 4 faces here. The first beast was like a lion, and the second beast was like a calf, and the third beast had a face as a man, and the fourth beast was like a flying eagle. Seems they each just have 1 face now. What happened here? Jesus, manifest in the flesh, was crucified, rose from the dead, and ascended into heaven. What I'm getting at is that John is seeing something later in God's plan than Ezekiel saw. God did something new that John saw that Ezekiel hadn't seen yet. What I'm saying is that Ezekiel saw the throne of God before Jesus ascended. Well, how could he have seen Jesus on the throne then? Jesus is the only form and image of God anywhere before he manifests in the flesh. He was on the throne. What God did reconciling earth back to heaven was to give man access so that man could sit in his throne with him. Jesus was not a man like you or I. Jesus was God manifest in the flesh who made our way to give us access to heaven. If you didn't know, God reconciled earth to himself by manifesting in the flesh and walking around as a man, getting crucified, rising from the dead, ascending his flesh incorruptible into heaven where it'll never rot, to be the door for human souls to pass through to approach unto the Father. Have you heard all this? Now here's what Ezekiel saw God doing. And the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning. Where were they going? For the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth to show himself strong in the behalf of them whose heart is perfect toward him. He shows his strength to those who love him. Now real quick, diving real deep, the four creatures of the throne of God represent the four worlds or the four ages of the earth. Pre-flood, Old Testament, New Testament, millennial reign of Christ. Spring, summer, fall, and winter. The process of God's plan in his creation unfolding. So we can be sure from Ezekiel's day, God knew what he was going to do. His plan was evident even then, even if we couldn't understand the symbolism. It was there. What Ezekiel saw is that God shows his strength to those who love him throughout the ages. And what we see between Ezekiel and Revelation is that God gained glory, strength, and honor. Not that he didn't have it before, but for his form and his image, for his name among the nations. You see that his plan has progressed as he spoke through his prophets. It would. Because he said everything that he was going to do clear through to the millennial reign, clear through the millennial reign to the final judgment and the remaking of heaven and earth, he said all of this through his Old Testament prophets. Ezekiel 1 confirmed that God's plan is working actively. Revelation 1 says that it still is and that it has progressed. Now just to wrap it all up, bring it to a close, this is not what he saw. He saw God upon the throne and all the stuff that surrounds that. He saw the four creatures of the throne and he saw the four wheels of God's throne. God showing his strength to those who love him. Far more dreadful, terrifying, and fantastic than this right here, I promise.
Oh man, that is nice. Good vibes.
Check out wives. Yeah, done too.
Wait. Hold on. Slowly, 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 slowly. Oh! Wow! Wow! Look at that!
What about one?
Ah, what type of fishing is that?
Here's what AI thinks kids looked like in the early 1800s, early 1900s, 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, 2000s. And here's where things begin to go downhill rapidly. 2010, 2020. Somebody make it stop. We can't go down this road anymore. This is insanity. I will be long gone before we get here, hopefully. I just think we're at a fork in the road and we can't keep going down the road we've been on. Go outside, put down the devices. This is crazy. We don't want Skynet to become a reality. This is not normal. This is not what life is supposed to be like. Let's get out of upside down land right now.
Oh my god, that is very scary, man. Oh, would you want it to be
Down
like
the
that?
list of the world's top magicians. So what makes him so extraordinary? Well, he's discovered the secret to one of the most debated magic tricks of all time. This looks like an unremarkable rope. Nothing is under the basket. But somehow, Ishamuddin is going to make the rope climb into the sky. It's called the Great Indian Rope Trick. Even books have been written about whether this could actually be done. It was first recorded centuries ago, but then it disappeared. Some thought it was just a myth. The levitating rope is even strong enough to hold the weight of a child. The Great Indian Rope Trick is the reason Ishamuddin is ranked by those who know as one of the world's top magicians, even if he hasn't been given the fame he probably deserves.
Do you think that is the true good people of Earth? Oh, that's a good website.
This video went viral when this lady installed a camera to keep an eye on her sneaky dog. When the pup started chewing on the picture frames, she yelled through the camera's mic to make her stop.
Mercy, what is that? Put that down.
The dog got shocked and was wondering where the voice is coming from. The lady keeps asking the dog to drop the frame, but an unexpected turn of events happen when their cat appears and begin assisting the dog in its mischief. At first, the owner was confused, but it got hilarious when she realized what the cat was trying to do.
Ling Ling.
The cat was blocking the camera to let the dog misbehave without consequences.
Ling Ling, move.
It worked like a charm. The cat covered for the dog, who went back to chewing on pictures. The owner gave up and had a good laugh about it. Watch what happened when this man spoke to his dog using a security camera. The dog was outside, barking at the neighbors, but when the owner noticed her through the monitor, he began calling out her name.
Sadie.
She stopped barking as she heard him, but she was confused. You won't believe what happened afterwards. She turned around and kept searching where the voice is coming from, and then she noticed the camera. But here's the best part. The owner asked her to go back in the house.
Sadie, go back in the house.
She continued to gaze at the camera, tilting her head in curiosity, and when he asked her again, she finally recognized his voice.
Go back in the house. Go.
She attentively listened. Then she did this. She politely headed back inside the house.
Good girl.
Look at her go. Watch what happened when this crow alerted this woman and her dog to an unexpected danger. You wouldn't believe it if the camera didn't catch it. The woman was walking her dog when the crow came flying towards them. The bird kept on cawing loudly and approached the woman. He was warning her, but she didn't expect the following to happen. The dog heard the crow and stopped, causing the woman to stop as well. Both of them turned around to investigate, and what they saw left them astonished. The woman instantly took the dog and ran away, but the crow's persistent caws hinted at something lurking behind them. It was a coyote, stalking them from behind. It followed the woman even after she ran away. And here's the kicker. A man heard the birds cawing and went out to help. Hit the like button and subscribe if you think the crow is a hero.
Here's some brand new WhatsApp features that you might not have seen. So first up, you can now make bullet lists. So you can type away and make bullet lists. Next up, you can now also make number lists, just like this. You can also now add block quotes to your messages. And finally, you can now add inline code in your messages, making it stand out. So come with me and I'll show you how to do it. So first, to add a bullet point, you just take a dash and a space, and there you go. It'll add a bullet, and then every time you click on return, it creates a automatic bullet point for you. Next, if you want to make a numbered list, you just click on the number with a period or a full stop and press enter, type in your lists, and automatically it creates a numbered list for you. So next up, if you want to make a block quote, you just use this little arrow symbol there, followed by a space, and then when you start typing your message, it will create a block quote for you. And then finally, for the inline code, you use the backtick symbol, start typing your message, and then another backtick symbol to finish it, and there you go, it turns it into inline code.
Oh, didn't know that. You see, I'm not on what's happened. That is interesting.
Things you have to look at twice to understand. First, this bridge in Japan is not what you think. The view from afar makes it look extremely steep. It looks almost like a cliff, and you're probably wondering, how are cars even driving on this? Well, if you look at it closer, you can see it's actually a normal looking bridge, although it does have a hill. Next, once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. You're probably wondering why this girl's legs are so skinny. Well, they're actually not. She's just holding a bag of popcorn. See it? Now you're probably wondering, how in the world is this guy walking on water? Of course he's not actually walking on water. He dived and then turned upside down.
Oh my god. Ha! Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. Oh, these two good guys here saw some elephant heading their way, and they decided not to run and chill, you see? And the good vibes elephant was also surprised. Oh my god. You mean today my tricks did not work? I thought I'd surprise them like the others. Huh. Anyways, good vibes, man. These animals are incredible. Look at this. Looks like some spaceship in the past. Huh. What do you think spaceships could come for here on Earth from the past? Maybe some stones or some stone tools, store seeds. Please, leave your thoughts, man. Huh. The great dog. Look at this. This is interesting. What is it made of? Ice or... this is creepy, man. It looks really beautiful. How was it made? Oh, good people of Earth. That is incredible.
For beginners. The art and science
Listen
behind
to what he about to tell
Jewish numerology.
Listen.
We all know that language and therefore words carry power. We just see that from the fact that it's the key to communication, the communication of our feelings to one another, whether it's from the earliest childhood, formative years, communication of love, also unfortunately the communication of anger.
Write it down.
So words carry power. They carry our expression, they carry our intentions, they carry our personality, our
watch the whole video.
our
You're
passion,
gonna learn.
our emotions, and so on. And words are made up of letters. And very often, though we use this tool at our disposal all the time, it's called communicating, speaking, crying, singing, all the different forms of expression of words, whether it's through speaking or also through writing, which is also words. We don't often pay attention to the exact science and art that lies behind these words. So in truth is the discussion of numerology, or the Hebrew word gematria, which comes from a Greek gematria, which is geometry. Essentially, it's the study of numbers.
Yeah.
But gematria particularly refers to the power and the energy that lies in the numbers that correspond to each letter, which I shall soon explain. But I think it's important to first discuss what letters and words are in general. Because I said, though we use words all the time, as I'm doing right now, and we use them hopefully for good purposes, but we also sometimes use them for unhealthy purposes, destructive ones. We have to realize that words are energy. Words are energy. As a matter of fact, the word for words in Hebrew, which is a milah, is made up of oisius. Words are made up of letters. Every word is made up of letters. And the word ois in Hebrew comes from the word asa boiker. And the morning has arrived, has risen. The dawn has risen. The morning has arrived.
I'm gonna show y'all a couple more videos on
refers to an arrival. We call it transmission. It's a transmission of energy. So though a letter on its own is hollow, you just have an A, a B, a C, a D. But if you combine the letters, let's say you combine the letter G-O-O-D, it takes on a whole different meaning, more than the sum of the parts, because each of the letters has its particular energy, and combining them creates a new energy, a new synergy, you can say, which conveys the feelings that are conveyed when you say the word good. Now, it's important also to point out that I'm going to be speaking primarily about Hebrew language, because that's where gematria really plays a tremendous role. And one of the reasons for that is because, according to Jewish mysticism, the Hebrew language is actually the original of all languages. And there are actually books that describe how all languages evolved and originated from its original Hebrew. That's why you have Aleph, Bet, A, B, And you have the equivalent in not only in
So
Latin
if all
languages, also in other
languages
languages,
arise
that it all
from
originates
Hebrew
from Hebrew. And
languages,
Hebrew is considered to be the pure language, the language of metaphor, the language that the divine used to create existence. And thus, the language, the letters and the words take on a whole different, dimension, because what they are doing is actually conveying the power that lies, the power of creation,
just
the
told
power
you.
of
all other
the force of
languages come
creation that
from the
lies
Hebrew
within
language.
each thing that's named by
So
a
what's
certain
that
word
telling you?
or combination of words, which is why we say, for
Get in
example,
the
when
comments.
we ask for a shlema, for a blessing, for health, for someone who's
This
been
is
ill,
part one. I'm gonna
we
show
look
you
for their
part
mother's,
two.
their name and their mother's their Hebrew name
Watch
and their
the whole
mother's Hebrew
video.
name. Why Hebrew name?
Powerful.
Because the Hebrew name is seen as the name that channels the soul's power into our beings. And therefore, that Hebrew name carries a particular power. Now, we're not going to just be talking about names here and about letters, but I need to begin with that because that's
Part
an
two's
introduction to
coming.
understand the
Give me a
significance
second.
of the gematria within those letters.
Oh my god. That is interesting, man.
Какая-то хрень зависла, вот она висит. Большая. Что такое, непонятно. Тучи точно не такие, и что бы она одна тут была.
What is that thing? Huh. Look at this. This 18-year-old guy fooled everybody. Oh. How did he do that? Look at this. Huh. He pulled some magic trick or what happened? Oh. Huh. Wait. What is going on here? How is this possible? What type of trick is this? Or maybe that stuff has another inner coating, something like it. Huh. Oh, this is interesting. This is how he made it. You see, humans are just amazing, man. This is incredible. You see? Oh. Hey, man. You see, humans are just incredible and audible. Look at this. Some good vibes guy chilling with. What type of animal is this? You see, I've never seen this type of animal. Oh my god. Looks like it has some pretty long nails and long teeth. Is this animal aggressive or what's up? Is it trying to hug this guy or hug the tree? What is going on here? Good people of Earth that know this animal. You see, it looks like some animal I've seen in some cartoon there, and it's very creepy. Which cartoon is it? Don't know if it's Ice Age or something like that. Oh, look at this one. Oh, the mother there with the baby. This is incredible. Good vibes, man. What do you call this animal? You see, they look like a doll, and if it's your first time seeing them, like myself, you see, if they just chill and they are stagnant, they don't move, you can mistake them for some doll. Oh, see, they're so fluffy, and they look smiley. Oh, you see, this must be full of good vibes. But what do you think? Good people over that have interacted with this animal here. Please, can you leave your comments there? How was the interaction? How was the experience? So, what does this type of animal eat? Grains or vegetables? Leave some comments, man. And some good vibes guy from another place. Oh, was just chilling and playing with the elephants. You see now, this is incredible. This is good vibes. Oh, and the elephants are pretty excited to play with this guy. You see how they are flapping their ears and they're just happy. It's good vibes.
Do you remember back when that YouTuber disappeared after teaching people how to open a portal inside of his bedroom by using different sound frequencies?
Missing YouTuber and his viral video. It's all part of a mystery centered around Sedona, Arizona.
Go ahead and play that. So, here 528 tone. I also have another tone generator set to 525, and I'm about to show you what will happen with that. There we go. 528. And already you can see a much much more stable fracture.
Is that it? Good people of Earth.
This call is being recorded or monitored for quality assurance purposes. Anytime you hear that when you call an insurance company, an airline, or any business, here's a tip. When they place you on hold, they are still recording. So even if there's hold music going on, you're talking to your friend or your wife or saying something, that is still being recorded. So remember that next time you're placed on hold and you're talking into the mic.
Cue the Simpsons movie.
I don't know if you guys should be talking so loud. No, Lisa, it's not like the government is listening to everybody's conversation.
The NSA, always someone inconspicuous, right?
Hi, I'm calling about your meat lovers pizza. I like meat, but I don't know if I'm ready to love again. You hang up first.
No, you hang up first.
Okay.
She hung up on me.
But we're fugitives. We should just lay low till we get to Seattle.
Hey, everybody, I found one. The government actually found someone we're looking for. Yeah, baby, yeah.
Did you hear what he just said? The government actually found someone that they were looking for. So what if the people on the FBI's most wanted list, your CIA's most wanted list, your local police station most wanted list was actually never found, that they created a story that they actually were found? Can you guys actually believe that? I mean, would you guys actually believe that if that was proposed? It's not far-fetched because, again, everything is made up. The world's a stage, isn't it? I mean, they're telling you right there in The Simpsons, and we already know The Simpsons, it's not predictions. They're literally telling us. So it's crazy, y'all. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Again, this video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I'm only raising awareness to interesting situations during this interesting time. Like, comment, and share for more videos like this. Thank you for tuning to my frequency. You already know what to do, y'all. Let's get this shift. Peace in.
Oh, that is creepy, man. Do you think people are always listening?
These guys show us how to make a perfectly solid slab of concrete without any cracks or creases using one simple tool. Now what makes this video interesting is the name for the tool that they use to make the concrete slab flush. And it has two names and I don't know which one's worse. So first off, they fill up this glass container so that we can see what's going on beneath the surface. So even though it might look flat on the top, you're gonna have to do more repairs and there's gonna be more cracks in your concrete slabs if you don't use this method. So the goal is to make all 6 sides perfectly flush with no cracks or crevices. So that's when they bust out this tool. Its government name is concrete vibrator. Not great. But what they call it on the streets though, they call it the dink. I don't know which one's worse, but somebody's got to work on a name for this tool. But nonetheless, the tool works flawlessly. Once they use the dink vibrator on the concrete, you're looking at a solid piece of slab. But if you're ever on a construction site and you hear someone shout, "Hand me the dink," you know they mean business.
NASA knows where Leviathan is and doesn't want you to know. NASA was once a marine exploration organization from the late 50s to the early 70s. Much of what NASA did during these years remains classified and unknown. However, some fascinating files were recently disclosed by a former NASA employee, Michael Thomas, who leaked many classified NASA files, the most notable being called Operation Leviathan. So this was a special mission conducted between 1967 and 1969, and what the operation involves is terrifying. In 1967, NASA launched a new mission with the aim of actually finding the Leviathans. Despite the absurdity of their endeavor, only 5.5% of the oceans had been explored by 2024, and in the 60s, only 3% had been explored. So the possibility of finding a giant creature wasn't too far-fetched. On March 1st, 1967, they launched a specialized fleet of 11 research ships equipped with sonar technology, which was new at the time. Then, for over a year, these ships scoured the ocean looking for signs of Leviathan. And on August 12, 1968, they discovered something shocking. In a remote part of the Pacific Ocean, near the Mariana Trench, they picked up vibrations from a massive creature lurking far below the surface. Their sonar equipment estimated it to be some kind of giant sea serpent living thousands of feet below the surface and measuring over 500 feet long. So they sent an unmanned submarine to check out the creature, and when they saw it, they were shocked. If you want to see it, follow me. Click on this icon, then on more, and on photos.
Oh man, that's crazy. What type of creature was that?
I watched a rat trip a mousetrap, a rat trap today. Have you ever seen this? Yes, watch this. So look at this rat. This rat goes, he realizes that's a trap. There's a nice piece of cheese on it. So he brings a stick and he trips the fucking trap. I mean, come on, man. How smart are those little motherfuckers? That little tiny ass brain. How smart is he? He's using tools.
He's using a tool, that's right.
I mean, that's incredible. I mean, it's really incredible. And he knows what he's doing. He didn't even freak out. Look, see how he reacted?
No, it didn't startle him at all.
At all.
No.
Just until recently, we've realized how intelligent ravens and crows are. They can use tools. They understand water displacement. So if they can't drink out of something, they'll drop rocks into it so the water level raises so that they can drink out of it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's brilliant stuff. Well, they're so clever. They're so clever. And it's so interesting, our thoughts about intelligence.
Oh man, that's very interesting. These animals are extra wise. Is it the croc that is big or the dog that is small? Huh, that is creepy, man.